Hey guys, so another extended what do you call it, tutorial. So what I did here, and I'll explain what I did. So let me close this background. So where I was at was and I'll close this. So I had this yesterday, as of last night, last demo. I cleaned up the this one into this one, but I wasn't. Obviously, I'm not done. So then what I did is I put in a gray background. Then I think that's in the tutorial, but I'm not for sure. Then what I did was I made a bigger version of it facing the opposite way. And then I made a copy of that. In a second, I'll show you. I put a background in. Just to, I don't know if this will be the permanent background, but for right now, it's a background. It is what it is at the moment. Actually, I think I might manipulate this a little bit more. Now that I'm looking at it, really paying attention to it. As you can see, it's part of a bigger background. And let's see what Liquify does to it. No idea what this is going to do to it. Let's try it, see what happens. Let's see what that did to it. Nothing. Didn't seem to have changed it at all, really. Okay, well, maybe this is still not. I don't. It's these little lines in here I don't like. So one more time, let's hit it with a filter again. Let's do the. Let's do a slight. Let's just do a gossamer blur on it. There you go. That will work right about there. That will work fine for what I'm doing. And this is obviously from the drawing that's stuck under there. I'll get rid of that. It was the notes I was writing on there. And then the one more thing with this background. So you could go camera raw. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a little vignetting on it. Funny because, hold on a second. Let me do something here. There's no reason I got all that extra background on there, so let's image crop it. There you go. Select, deselect. Okay, now I can go ahead and I don't know what I need to do. I don't really do anything to it. But let's camera raw it anyway. See what it does. Okay. It's still showing me that. Okay, whatever. Alright, so let's see here. What did I do to this thing? Oh, I adapted angle it. That's not what I wanted to do. How did I get on that? I thought I hit. Oh, I clicked above it, that's why. Camera raw this thing. So let's do the vignetting. Only problem is it's doing like the entire thing and I only wanted it part of it. Oh, I know how to fix that. Let's flatten that image. Just rasterize that layer from a smart object that it was. Now it should be. should crop. Okay. Just in case. I'll never trust that crop tool. I'll do it old school. Now. Filter. Camera raw that space. There you go. That's what I was looking for. So now if I vignette it, I like this kind of light that's coming in from the edges. It adds light to the oh yeah, that's nice. Do I want to go more blue for colder space or warmer space? I like the colder space. Alright, and I can tint it. I'll leave it. I like it right there. Yeah, exposure it right about there. Contrast it a little bit more. That's nice. Highlights, bring those in. Shadows. Take that down a little bit. Just a little bit. Brighten up the whites and the stars. And the blacks. Yeah, more contrast. I like that. It looks good. Let's vibrance that. Let's vibrance it. I like the vibrance on it. It looks great. And saturate it. Now let's take the saturation. There you go. Okay. I think that looks really good. Let's see what kind of effects. Do I want to add a green to it? Just a little tiny bit. Okay. There you go. Oh yeah, that's a much better space background. Look at that. That's pretty. Right, now I can get rid of these notes too, by the way. Oh, and look at this. Look at the color that put on the... I like that. I didn't even know that color came through the spaceship there. It's really nice. I think it's the background showing through. I'm gonna get my notes off of here now. Alright. Anyway, make sure it's on the correct layer. So, I was actually on this layer right here. Oh man, this layer. Oh yeah, okay. This layer right here. I want to clear those drawings out. Edit. Cut. And the reason I made another layer again is just because that way, in case I screwed up, I got backup. But I like those colors coming through from the background right now, so I don't know how much I want to mess with this. But anyway, what I'm doing is I'm lightening up the ship, the hull. So to do that, I'm starting with a gray, and I'm just going through it. And I have to go in and I have to rework the little details I put in there. I'm gonna lose them, but and I was doing this without video, and then I always realize I should make this a learning situation since I'm doing it anyway. So that's what I'm gonna do. So consummate teacher I am, I guess, right? So, my favorite tool in Photoshop, one of my favorite tools in Photoshop, is this silly little smudge brush. I think it's underrated. For the ability to make it look like paint. Probably too much old school, but I'm kind of like, I like slick graphic digital, but I am kind of a painter, so I kind of always default back to painterly look. And to get this painterly look of oil paint, I know there's a lot of different ways to do it, and maybe I'm probably doing it 100% the wrong way. but I gotta tell you, I'm gonna use this. And I know the liquify brush will also, and there's also, I think there's something else, something. I'm just gonna default back to my good old smudge tool, and work its magic that way. So what I gotta remember here is on this was a separate piece, so I've got to blend it appropriately. Alright, so I've got no safety net for what I have here, so if all the work I did could easily get lost. So the only thing I have now is I have the original one, and I'm gonna start doing saves, because that way if I get to the point where I screwed something up too bad, I can go back. So my advice is to save as, not just save as, and then change the number. Put a number behind it. That way it won't overwrite the one you have. And you can throw the old one. You can go in your hard drive, which obviously I'm not the best at cleaning up my hard drives, but you can go in your hard drives and you throw away the old parts that you no longer need once it gets to the point where you're done with the project. You don't need those backup copies anymore. Although sometimes, and I've come across this working on my comic and whatnot, I've come across times where I needed I was recreating an environment, like part of it, like someplace the characters were at, but I needed just an element of what I had done before without certain changes made to it. So sometimes earlier saved copies will, like, there's something like, I don't know, I'm not thinking about it right offhand, but I like changed something, or I painted something or whatever because the scene had called for it. So, and then, but I needed something that came before that, and by saving multiple copies is the point of my story here. By saving multiple copies, I could still go back and get the things I needed because they were I had multiple saves. Sorry, I'm trying to think and do two things at once. So I'm going to stop talking and just work. So just letting you know what I'm doing. I'm just going in really with a gray brush because I'm assuming this metal is kind of a grayish color. We'll go with the default on that. And then I can add color and pinstriping and details to it later. But right now I'm just going with a gray over the black because I want to brighten it up a little bit. And the smudge tool, and then I'll go in and I'll do all the detailing again with the black and white brush and possibly some color. Okay. So in the meantime, I'm going to play the default YouTube music library. We'll see what happens. So. And it's probably really loud. So let me turn the volume down. Okay. That may or may not be louder than me talking. I don't know. I won't know until I watch the video back myself, to be honest with you. So. Okay, so that's what I'm doing, guys. So you can leave or watch. It's your choice. This is not a requirement for anybody unless you just want to learn what I do. And you know what? Hey, man. I'm not even going to pretend I'm the best at anything. I just have more experience and stuff. That's all. Even that, I mean, there's so many ridiculously talented artists that, you know, just making my way here. Now, I'll probably go back in. I know, probably not going to keep switching back and forth between brush tips and paint. I'm probably going to stay with the gray for a minute and get the overall kind of. I'm going to switch back between the smudge brush and the gray, but I'll get the overall and then I'll go back in and I'll do the. Because there's some places my detailing is going to, and I'll have to look at it. But there's definitely a place my detail is going to need to be. I'm going to need to pump back up the black or the white light reflections and stuff. So, but this moment right now, I'm just trying to get this kind of cleaned up, solidify it into a solid colored chip surface. Okay. Like I said, I'm kind of a old school painterly person for the ship designs and stuff like that. So the things that made me, I used to get books as a kid. My parents were cool enough to realize that I was a junkie for I guess it was them buying it for me. I don't remember picking these books out, but well, I guess I would at the library or whatever, but I got quite a few books. I don't know who picked these books out for me now that I think about it. I guess I might have. But anyway, I had quite a few books that showed spaceship design and stuff. And they were done by the really cool old school sci-fi artists of the 70s and 80s. And those guys, like my mentor in grad school, he was one of those guys. And they just, it was all paint, man. All oil paint, watercolors. There was no digital anything. So now it's, it's not easy, but seems like the ability to make awesome stuff is easier, let's put it that way, than it used to be. But I'm going to go back and use old school techniques digitally. That's what I'm trying to do here. I interviewed with Wizards of the Coast, do some Magic the Gathering cards, and they emphasized to me that they really wanted painterly. And at the time of my portfolio, I didn't have so much painterly. I had more tight, going for a comic book style work. So, but those particular art directors, funny because the first art directors I spoke to years earlier at Wizards, really was interested in what I was doing. But at the time I was doing the more watercolor Flash Vessel series for heavy metal, and they really liked that. And then I changed everything the way I was working, to try to do a more comic book style, which I'm definitely not as good as I could be at that style, but I've been working on it for a while now. And so it looks like now I'm back at doing painterly again. I'm going to try to get a nice mix between the two. That's the plan anyway. Now, this is for my, this is a ship I'm using in my comic. So I also got to do a design that, I mean, this one can be extra pretty, but I also have to do a design that's going to be able to reproduce over and over again without killing myself. So there's some simplification got to occur here. I'm not going to lie. And now I'm also seeing some, because I turned it slightly to get the ship facing the way I wanted it, because I was working on the angle that it was originally concepted out as, which was that facing the opposite way. Anyway, I turned it. Point of my story. I turned it, and now I'm seeing things from different angles, and I'm discovering stuff that's like I need to fix. Let's just put it that way. I also, if you watch the video near the end last night, I decided to fix the. I wasn't happy with the angle I had going on the back of it and the front of it, so I did a big cut and a warp, and then so I've got to fix. So I have some, and because I was late, I probably didn't finish up everything as far as correcting everything. So I'm going to fix all that now while I'm working. And I know a lot of artists do the double time speed on their videos, but I don't like that, because I don't feel that you can learn from it, because I've watched their videos that are double speed, and to be honest with you, they're almost useless sometimes, because I'm like, what, how'd you do that? Like, wait, I want to see your technique that you used, you know? That's why we're watching that stuff. We're watching to learn. I'm not watching it to watch them entertainment. I'm trying to learn from whatever techniques they did, you know, learn to improve my own, or get ideas, whatever. You can see this smudge tool is pretty cool about just bringing shapes in there with the. It works like this is the way oil paint. If you used oils, you can imply things. If you look at the master painters, especially, everybody loves Impressionism. I mean, I actually don't like Impressionism. I like realism, but I do like Baroque, and I like a lot of the Renaissance painters, much better than I like the Impressionists. But Cezanne, he's pretty awesome though, because of that technique with the pointillism. But anyway, was that Cezanne? Man, my art history minor. I shouldn't be saying anything because I don't remember. Anyway, so my brain's going somewhere else right now. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna stop talking about art history until I get my notes, because I am a teacher. I have a reputation to keep here, like I know what I'm talking about. Okay. Like I said, now I'm gonna go through, and I got all the kind of solidified gray that I wanted. Oh, I didn't. I guess I didn't. I didn't see that part yet. Man, I missed a whole section there at the bottom. So I'm going to finish this up, and then I'm going to do the detailing. I'm going to use the smudge tool to paint it in here. I'm sorry about this music if it sucks. Like this song here does suck. I'm gonna change it in a minute. But I'm working, so I don't want to stop to do that. It's implied. Okay. Alright. This will work. Right, before I start smudging, I'm going to change this song. Don't like it. Did not like that song, Sam I Am. And because I've lost a lot of the really cool kind of details I had there, I'm going to go back in and fix that. This is just the kind of overall mid-tone kind of paint job I'm putting on it. I mentioned last night, if you do 3D, you can also take your ship and build it in 3D and then bring it back in and paint it too, which is probably what I'm gonna do, because by building it in 3D, if I'm gonna use it multiple times in the comic, I'll always have it built and ready to go. That way I'm not redrawing this thing, trying to get it correct every single time. Plus in 3D, it'll kind of help me express, better express some of these shapes that I want here. So like, cause this one, I feel that I'm wrong on this. So if this is the width of this, I feel my, my perspective is wrong on it. That it will go over farther, and I can hide it where it goes over here with the edge of the ship. If that makes sense. Probably not. I feel like it would go over farther than go up. Like you wouldn't see it. It would go far enough over. There you go. This too, it would go over farther, obviously. It wouldn't curve up so fast. And this edge right here would hide that. This might come down a little bit lower here too. There you go. I feel that's a little bit of a better design. These guns. Should I go crazy with guns? I almost feel like I should have guns on every inch of this thing. And I might put more, but at the moment I'm just gonna go with what I have. Alright. Okay, so that's overall. So, okay. So it's much more solid feeling to me now. Now I just gotta go in and clean it up. Fix all the little angles, and it's gonna, every time I do this, it's gonna lose a little bit of its spontaneity. That's I don't want to happen, but at the same time, I kind of have to get it to really feel like it's where it's supposed to be at. See, I think there's a line of, so as a concept artist, I think there's two ways to look at things. Concept art, you can be doing functional concept art where it is something that will be used in production and over again, or you're designing for, like, this is going to be for, I'm actually going to use this ship in my comic. Okay, so that was kind of what it was purpose of. I gave myself a purpose for that. All right, so then you can just do stuff that will be just purely it's concept to get the idea across, but it may never leave the drawing board, if you will. In that concept art, you'll be much freer to do more artistic, smudgy, painterly type work, because it doesn't really matter what's going on with it, because it's never going to be fully realized. What I'm going here for is something that's kind of fully realized, but I am going to do a 3D model of it. That's my plan. So it doesn't need to be it can still be a little bit painterly and a little bit suggestive. As to what is actually going on this thing. Alright, so now I'll start putting in the surface, the panels, and the little things that make it look like. So what I want you to think about, okay, so even Star Trek, their ships have parts everywhere. They're just parts everywhere. But what I think that, because it looks cool, okay, but I often thought about the fact that in real life, like an aircraft carrier, it does have pipes leading over. Why are those pipes? Well, those pipes are for plumbing and cooling and and sewage, because you've got crew and sewage and all that. So but the actual workings of a ship, there's an engine room, and then there's so for instance, on this particular design of the ship, what's the engine room and what's the crew accompaniment area? Because my thought is that you don't need just random parts everywhere for like Star Wars in their designs, they've got parts just everywhere and everything, and it does look cool. But at the same time, why does it need all those extra parts to make stuff happen? When you think about a commercial airline, which is very advanced for our technological reality for us, it flies, but there's like really, there's an engine, there's fuel tanks, pipes that run all the wiring up to the cabin, which operates there's a toilet, there's the wiring that runs to the cabin with the lights where the people sit, and then there's the controls, okay, which is the front. Really, all that breaks down to all you really need are the engines and the controls, okay? So and even the space shuttle. If you remember, the space shuttle used to leave the planet. It had engines in the back. It had lots of wiring, and it had a control thing, and then like whatever. But it didn't have stuff sticking all over the outside of it, like Star Trek designs. And like I said, I love not Star Trek. Let me say Star Wars. I don't get me wrong. I love Star Wars. It's just that I feel that their design aesthetic is cluttered. But the clutter looks, as long as they make the cluttering look good, you know, we don't really complain about it because it looks good. It gives an aesthetic to it. It's this cluttered aesthetic. And a lot of sci-fi designers go for that real cluttered aesthetic because we don't really know what it takes to make a faster than light engine yet. We don't really know that, so maybe it does take all that extra parts. All those parts are necessary. I mean, look at you ever seen a collider? There's a lot of pipes and wires on that thing, and maybe all those pipes and wires, like a collider, maybe like a, you know, that maybe that's what it takes to run a space engine. I don't know. So I'm gonna go for my design anyway. And my design obviously isn't as popular as the Star Wars or anything like that, but my design aesthetic I'm gonna go for is gonna be a little bit cleaner than Star Wars, but not as clean as Star Trek. I'm gonna go for more of literally World War II aesthetic. I like World War II airplane aesthetic. Honestly, I keep coming back to that World War II, like engines that probably need tuning and but they can take a lot of abuse and just keep running, you know. But that's what I'm going for here. So this is my universe, so I can do anything I want in it. Okay. And I gotta figure out where the light's coming from on this thing. So the light's probably coming from up here. I'm gonna make a separate layer. No, I want to make a layer, not delete a layer. Sorry. I'm going to say the light's coming in from this way. Okay. So I'm going to light it accordingly. All right. Now, space is kind of ambient, is in as far as the fact that if there was nothing to reflect, because there's probably light coming from, you know, this because it looks like they're in kind of an Oort cloud or something. So there's probably a general light source all around them. So it's probably lit like that. I mean, so when you see real life outside of our planet, it's very stark. It's like one side is super lit and the other side's really dark. Okay, because we don't have things like this cloud, this Magellanic cloud or whatever this thing is here floating around outside. If we did, it would obviously change, but it does look cool. So for the sci-fi wise, I'm gonna make that cloud. So that being said, that would mean to do that, there's gonna be a general light source on this thing. It's generally gonna be lit from multiple a diffuse light all around it. So because otherwise it would be black on this side and all the light would be coming in from the side we can't see. So I don't want that for my design. It does look cool, and we will make this one side a little darker. But for what I got, this design for the way I did it, I'm gonna go in and put my little details in again that I lost when I solidified the surface of it. Like I said, I'm going for this World War II aesthetic of things were built with rivets and they're tough, but they're held together, but you can see the construction. They're not going to be slick. And definitely you can see where the way they're built. And I get that aesthetic from Star Wars, really. That's where that was the aesthetic that George Lucas established for Star Wars, and it was that World War II aesthetic where you can see the way things are put together and built. And I love that look. And so I just said I was going to not be as cluttered as Star Wars, but yet I'm going back to saying that I'm using their aesthetic. It's true, I am. But I like I said, I think that hey man, they're Star Wars. I can't. It's like, for me, that would be like somebody that was religious, like saying, well, religion's good, but this is what's wrong with it. Like God did this or that, but could have been better. So if you believe, if you have strong religious beliefs, you're not supposed to question that. So that's like me with Star Wars. I don't question, like, yeah, it's awesome. It is what it is. Except for episode 8. Episode 8, I can't help it. I just gotta question that one. Be like, what the heck were they thinking? They had a blueprint laid out. Oh, no, I'm on the wrong layer. What layer? What is this? Huh. Alright, I'm going to merge that down. I don't know why I was above it. Oh, because of that. I started drawing on that layer. Okay. I'll get rid of that later. I was like, why am I not? I was trying to figure out why this wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. Once again, the music is sucking. But I don't want to stop what I'm doing here to fix it. Okay. Repeating pattern. Something's supposed to be machined. That's where the whole making it in 3D helps. Because when you make it in 3D, you can definitely make it look like it's machined, and instead of just me going, does that look like it's aligned? This is what I'm doing. I'm busy going here thinking, okay, does this look like I'm faking the machining, if that makes sense. this joins with this, it's going to be kind of solid there. Okay, so it was indented here, but it went to a solid piece here to connect with the, so this part of the wing is solid. That connects with this engine housing. Oh man, I'm gonna change that music. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's see here. Alright, so this is going here. Like, so I'm just cleaning things up. Details. This has been bugging me, this window design. There we go. It just needed to be rounded a little bit. Better. The front ship. Does it have a grill? Why would it have a grill? I don't know. Just to break up the aesthetic of it. Just looks. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I like that. Just kind of breaks the... curve of the hood. Family Roadster. I like the in Mandalorian. He's successful, obviously. He's doing well, so but at the same time, like they're always commenting on his ship is old, and it's like he's just keeping it together, keeping it running. But there's something about it, you know. It's like it's kind of neat that it's old and like it's a classic. Like it was like a classic hot rod, you know. Makes it like I don't know. I just like the idea that it's not a brand new slick ship. impersonal. The oldness of it gives it personality. Because the ship, really, if it's done right, like the Falcon, and I think the Razor, I think they have represented the Razor Crest, even though they blew it up, which I ordered one. I have one coming. I got the toy Razor Crest, and I spent quite a good amount of money on it, and it's coming, and then it got blown up, so it's not even on the show anymore. I really hope they somehow figure out how to bring it back, like gets another one. And what's in here? Well, see, this has these kind of vents. All right, so we got these vents, like air intakes of some sort. Okay. All right. But what is this? Well, that, my friend, will be what? That will be a. There'll be a line in there, like a Ferrari Testarossa. Ferrari Testarossa style inserts. Yeah, I like that. So if you looked at this from the top, and once again I'll make another layer and I'll probably forget it's there and do what I did with that one. So look at this ship from the top. It would be like this, and it would immediately come out to there, and it would come out just a little bit, and then I have the engines. It has a little bit of a wing here. So from the top, and if I just flip that over on the side, and the back obviously has the. So then the cockpit is here. The crew quarters, radar dish, whatever this space is right there. This thing here, which is the habitat, if you will, and then the back, and then the gun is mounted here, and then we don't really show what's here, but what I'm thinking this is some type of a. This is some type of a setup here and here. And then we've got another engine back here. So this engine is right there. So I think this is what our ship looks like from the top. Yeah. This is the radar dish, and this is the habitat for humanity. This is some type of thing here. This is kind of a rounded front end, and then yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. So there you go. Yeah, I think that's a good design, and that's the way it looks from the top if you're looking down at it. So this is the top. I'll probably use that later, so make another version of it. So okay, and this the sun. I gotta get rid of this lighting thing here. I know where the lighting is coming. So now I'm going to light it. Okay, so right now it's just all. It is what it is right now. And you know what? Now this looks crooked again. Come on, man. What's going on here? This is where I need the 3D model. There. That music sucks again. I'm about to turn it off. Unless it gets better. And it did. I'm just gonna leave the music off. That's just better. I think silence is better than that irritating music. Okay. Right, like I said, I'm gonna go through now, and just keep nailing down these details, and then I'm gonna light it. So to light it, if it was 3D in Blender, I could literally take a real 3D light and light it, and I might do that, but for this moment, at the moment, I'm gonna light it in here. All right, so pretty happy with the solidifying of the design. I think it looks good so far. It doesn't have all the little details in yet. I'm gonna do that, but I like that, so I don't need this one anymore. This was my backup version. I'm just gonna get rid of it. Actually, no, I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm just gonna leave it there, because it's history of what I was doing. That's where it was at. This is where it's at now. Before, after. Yeah, okay. So, and then before that, there it was. And then, obviously, bam. And there's even an earlier version on the other page. So that's the top down. Okay, so let's go here. So this is going to be the semi-final, because there's gonna be a final, and that's gonna light it. This is gonna be step 2. This is step 1. Okay. This is going to be the space. I'm identifying these layers to make it easier. Okay, space. All right, so now I'm going to put back space because I need space in there to see the lighting correctly. Right, now I'm going to throw in a layer above this. And this is going to be a overlay layer. And in that overlay layer, I'm going to light this thing. You know what? Wait. I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to make one more. I'm going to make a detail layer. Detail. Yep. Okay, so the detail layer is going to be the one where I go in with a small brush and just put in little details. Okay, perfect. All right. This is where it gets pretty. So now we're going to go back to the white again, because the white should I go with a circle? Sure. See this? This is the kind of thing I'm going to be doing here. And then the top. Oh man, so the top layer. Where oops, what is going on here? Oh, I know what I was doing. I was grabbing above it. I wanted to not do that. That's kind of the point. I wanted to lower the height of this design down a little bit. to be honest with you, I'm going to get rid of this detail layer. I'm just going to drop it down, and I'm going to just make a copy again. And just put the detail right, because I feel I'm going to run into the same problem. So detail, I'm just going to go ahead and make a duplicate layer. This will be my, and then I'm going to close this one down. And now this one is where I'm going to put my details in. I'm just going to do it right on the same thing, because I'm going to keep running into that problem where I can't fix things. All right. Oh, I got the smudge on. Make it slightly bigger anyway. So remember, my light source is coming in from over here. So this side is actually should be a lot darker than it is. And I'm going to remedy that in a minute. But for the moment, I'm just going to worry about putting my lighting in, and then I want to go in and fix bring my detail in, and then I'll go in and fix the lighting situation. But I need my detail there first. I talked earlier about confident line and not making little scratchy scratches. And it probably looks like I'm making scratchy scratches. But what I want you to pay attention to is when I do that line, I'm pulling it longer. Okay? So I'm trying to keep it a confident line by pulling. When I do it, I'm pulling it longer. And then I'm correcting it as I go. So still trying to keep my confident line in there, because it is important. Okay. Line confidence, very important. So there's going to be a, if it's lit from the opposite side, there'll be a rim light on everything. So therefore, everything will have this rim light on it. And okay, so the light, because the light's coming in from that side. All right, so. And it's going to be hitting the edges here. Okay, and then I don't know what this is. This is whatever's required to run a space cannon here. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep my aesthetic a little bit clean, but at the same time, not Star Trek clean. Star Trek, they have super clean aesthetic on all their ships and designs. And that's probably where technology will end up being, Earth technology. If we get that, we'll probably will, our aesthetic will be very clean on our ships when we're to that point where everything is kind of printed by the 3D matter printers. And now this is rim lit, so keep that in mind. The lighting's coming in on the rim. So with the rim lighting, it will make the contrast from things from that are getting hit by the light far more contrasted than the parts that are on this side. Okay. Parts on this side will definitely have darkness. All right. Okay. All right. Looks pretty cool so far. All right. The lighting really makes it look cool. Honestly, it's all about the lighting. You want your stuff to look cool? Put cool lighting on it. And then it'll be kind of, it's kind of look like maybe it's a pipe or something. I don't know what this is, but it's definitely something important for the firing of this gun. It's like a World War II howitzer on top of a space. And you know what? So there's a show called oh man, what's that show called? Anyway, wow, it's a sci-fi space show. Anyway, but the point of what I was trying to talk about, even though I can't think and do this, is there's a internet scientist named Kyle Hill. I don't know what his real degree is, but he seems pretty smart. If he's not, he does a really good job of pretending, faking it. And he was talking about the fact that that show, that I can't think of the name of it at the moment, they use kinetic weapons, which are, just like ours, bullets and stuff, instead of lasers. And that they would be very effective in space because of the fact that they're would be very little resistance, air resistance to them, and they would accelerate and cause a lot of damage. So if you did have a howitzer, a traditional howitzer, and mounted on your spacecraft, it would actually be very effective. I'm sure a laser would go farther. It would actually technically go infinitely far, and probably could be very, very deadly weapon. I'm sure a laser weapon, or phasers if you in Star Trek, whatever, turbo lasers in Star Wars. But I kind of like the idea that they have this like archaic weapon that nobody expects. Like, what? You know, like, hit them with the cannon. You know, like they, you know, it'd be like this ancient technology that their energy shields or something were meant to repel lasers, but all of a sudden they get hit by this projectile weapon. And I kind of like that idea, so I'm actually going to put it on. It actually is going to be a physical. In my design for this, it is going to literally be a cannon and literally fires mortar shots like a real, like a World War II. So, because I think that's a pretty cool idea. Alright, so at that, you see what I'm doing here. I'm going to, this is probably the part you want to watch the most. I think I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to keep working, and I'll check back in with you as I, but you see basically what I'm doing. I'm just going through here and I'm putting in lighting, and kind of still, once again, I'm just kind of bringing together these design elements. And I'm putting in the lighting, so. Alright. And that's what I'm going to continue doing. So, I'll check back in with you later. The next video, I'll probably be farther along on this. So, thanks. Because we already went a long time on this one.